Today, we're exploring unconscious bias, not just as a workplace issue, but as a deeply human phenomenon that shapes how we move through the world. These are the automatic attitudes, assumptions, and stereotypes that influence how we perceive others, often without us even realizing it. Whether we're choosing who to sit next to on a bus, interpreting someone's tone in a conversation, or deciding who we trust, unconscious bias is quietly at play. It affects our relationships, our communities, and the systems we participate in every day. Our brains are wired to make sense of complexity by creating shortcuts, mental templates shaped by our upbringing, culture, media exposure, and personal experiences. These shortcuts help us navigate life quickly, but they can also lead us to misjudge others. For example, we might instinctively feel more comfortable around people who look or sound like us, or assume someone's parenting style based on their age or background. Even when we consciously value fairness and inclusion, research shows that unconscious bias can still influence our choices in subtle but powerful ways. In everyday life, this can show up in how we respond to children's behavior, how we interpret someone's emotional expression, or how we engage with people in public spaces. It can affect who we listen to, who we believe, and who we extend compassion toward. These biases can reinforce social divides, perpetuate stereotypes, and unintentionally exclude others from feeling seen, heard, or safe. So, what's actually happening in our brains when unconscious bias shows up? Our brains are constantly scanning for patterns, trying to make sense of the world quickly and efficiently. This is thanks to a structure called the amygdala, which plays a key role in emotional processing and threat detection. When we encounter someone new, the brain rapidly assesses, is this person safe, familiar, trustworthy, often before we've had a chance to consciously think. These snap judgments are shaped by the brain's reliance on schemas, mental templates built from our past experiences, cultural conditioning, and social learning. The prefrontal cortex, which governs rational thought and decision-making, can override these biases, but only when we slow down and engage it intentionally. Without that pause, the brain defaults to what feels familiar, which can lead to biased assumptions and reactive behavior. Importantly, this isn't about being bad or broken. It's about being human. Our brains evolved to protect us, not necessarily to be fair. But when we understand this wiring, we gain the power to interrupt it. We can train our brains to respond with curiosity instead of judgment and compassion instead of fear. Practices like mindfulness, reflective journaling, and exposure to diverse perspectives help rewire neural pathways over time. The more we challenge our assumptions and engage in conscious reflection, the more flexible and inclusive our thinking becomes. This is neuroplasticity in action, the brain's ability to change and adapt through experience. So when we talk about bias, we're not just talking about attitudes, we're talking about brain patterns, and that means change is possible. Not overnight, but through consistent, intentional effort. By becoming aware of our automatic responses, we open the door to more conscious, compassionate choices. This isn't about blame, it's about curiosity, reflection, and growth. So what can we do? First, commit to noticing. Pay attention to your gut reactions, who you gravitate toward, who you avoid, and what stories you tell yourself about others. Second, slow down. When you catch yourself making a snap judgment, pause and ask, what else could be true? Or, where did that assumption come from? Third, expand your lens. Seek out stories, voices, and experiences that challenge your defaults, whether through books, podcasts, community events, or conversations with people outside your usual circles. You can also practice empathy-building techniques like perspective taking and reflective listening. Mindfulness helps too. By tuning into your body's signals and emotional responses, you can become more aware of when bias is creeping in. And if you're raising children or supporting others model this awareness, show that it's okay to question assumptions and embrace difference. Ultimately, addressing unconscious bias is about creating environments, at home, in schools, in communities, where people feel safe, valued, and understood. It's about recognizing that every interaction is an opportunity to either reinforce exclusion or foster connection. This is lifelong work, and it starts with small, intentional steps. So let's stay curious, let's stay open, and let's keep learning, because the more we understand our biases, the more we can choose connection over assumption and compassion over judgment. For more information, get in touch with Trauma Informed Solutions, a J3MS consulting company.